So like I said, I was going to do the letter square, and that's the first E that I did. And while it's 6 inches high, it's 3 inches wide, and I think it's just too small. And I said I was going to print out a template to use to cut out some more material, but I came across this. I had got some of these cardboard paper, whatever they are, these letters. I was going to use them for one of their birthdays or something like that. But apparently I never used them. But anyway, I thought it would make a good template. Now it is not, it is 8 inches. It is 8 inches by, I'm not even sure. I do know that it is 8 inches. Not quite 8 inches, almost 8 inches. By just over 5 inches. It looks like it's 5 inches and 1/16. Anyways, so I think that will be a good size. Well, and there goes the air conditioner. So let me take a break for a minute until that thing kicks off. Okay, and we're back. So I was trying to decide while the air conditioner was going if I wanted to change the color from this. This is the fossil feet print material. So I was trying to decide if I wanted to change it from that to just maybe the skeletons. I was trying to see how it looked against this. I think I still want to stay with the orange on this one. I do have another dinosaur background. I think I'm gonna use this as a background. So I was thinking I could use this for one of the letters. Yeah, I think I'll use this for one of the letters on top of this. And I'll stick with the orange on top of this. So I'm just going to do a rough cut. And then, so I don't have all of that weight hanging, then I'm going to trace it. This is a heat erase pen. It erases with heat. So you can use hair dryer, you can use a dryer, whatever works best for you. So I'm gonna have to make a few passes over this to get all the lines to show up. Oh, and that worked well. That worked well. So that's going to be much larger than that. It's going to stand out much better, I think. I think. Okay, now I'm gonna turn this off and wait for the air conditioner to kick off, and then we'll come back. Okay, that didn't take long, but while it was on, I went ahead and found center of my E, my letter, and I had already found center of my material. So I had already marked the center of my material, so I marked the center of my letter, and I lined the two up and I pinned it in place. So now to decide, and I really like the green. I know previously on the first dinosaur square that I did, I used the brown and it worked lovely. However, I think for this, there's so many colors going on in this background. I think it needs something just as bright. I think the brown is just gonna be too dull for that. So I was trying to decide. I really like both of these greens. So I was trying to decide which one I wanted to use. Because again, we're going to keep it simple. I think this one stands out the best. Shows up the best. So we'll go with that one. I still have to decide which stitch I'm going to use. And honestly, I feel like I'm running out of ideas on stitches. Let me see if there's something in my book that catches my eye. We'll go back to this. Nothing on the front. It's just jumping out at me. Some of these in here just get a little too intricate and too fancy for what I'm wanting to do. It's not that I don't like them. I really like them. And I've, like, this is one of the ones that I've used previously, and I really liked it. But for the purposes of this crazy quilt for my grandson, some of these are just too fancy. Too fancy. We want simple and almost masculine looking, and that would fit the bill. And a blanket stitch, I still haven't used a blanket stitch on this, so I guess I could use a blanket stitch. There's the cable chain stitch, I could use that. And I've used the double chain stitch. I actually used that on the chicken square, which I just finished, and it looks so good on that. So really glad I did that one. So we may do a chain stitch. We may just do a simple chain stitch on this one. I've done the chevron stitch. Yeah, some of these just get a little too intricate, a little too fancy for what I'm trying to do. So it makes it a little more difficult to make a decision, or maybe simplifies it a little bit for me, because obviously we don't want to do the fancy ones on here that are going to take forever to do, but then that also a little boy is not really going to appreciate. I've not done a fern stitch. I don't think. No, I've not done a fern stitch yet. Although, I mean, while fern stitch is just plain and simple, it doesn't really have the feel that I want. It feels like it's missing something, so it's better used when you can add to it. So I think we'll go back over here and just do I mean, I don't have to look at it. I can just do a basic chain stitch. That's a cable chain stitch. I've done one of those before. I would have to remember how to do it. And these instructions are not very helpful. So, yep, I think I'll just do a basic chain stitch then, because that's lovely and all, but it's not very helpful with me remembering how to do the cable chain stitch. So I think just a basic chain stitch. And I've got this pinned down. Goodness, that steel just keeps wanting to go up there, doesn't it? I know I've mentioned before that we have chickens, roosters, and we have the black copper Maran breed of chickens. My husband is at a chicken show in Ohio this weekend. He won't be home until Sunday. This is Saturday, and as you can tell, I'm back at work. Goodness, I can't get a good hold on this. Make it not so awkward to stitch. Okay, I think I'm just gonna pull that pin now. Tired of that thing getting in my way. So anyway, I've mentioned we've got chickens, and he took 2 of his roosters up to Ohio, and he drove. I mean, he didn't fly with 2 roosters. I don't even know if you can do that, but he didn't. He drove up there, but he drove up there in his work van, and his work van is just this metal box. I was like, I don't envy you listening to 2 roosters crowing with that sound bouncing around and reverberating inside that metal box. Just not what sounds appealing to me. But the show was today, the judging was today, and then the award ceremony is tomorrow. So he has to stay until tomorrow morning, and then he'll have to drive all the way back. So he called me earlier today to let me know that he won 2nd place in breed or variety. I can't remember. which now, anyway, he won a second place in the show today with one of his roosters. So he was super excited about that. And this is a big show, and there's a lot of roosters up there, so that's a pretty big deal that he won. And he's really excited about that. But he's very pessimistic to begin with. So he starts off going, I'm not going to win anything. I'm not going to win anything. I'm not going to win anything. Well, you never know until you get there, but you might. It's okay if you don't. No big deal if you don't. But he's just very pessimistic up front, and then he's all excited when he does win, or something he wanted to happen happens. So I don't know. And I'm the opposite. I'm very optimistic. I'm cautiously optimistic. I'm not ever like, oh yeah, this, but I'm cautiously optimistic. I'm never just outright pessimistic. I am cautiously optimistic, if that makes sense. So I'm the one going, it'll be fine. You'll do fine. Even if you don't win, no big deal. But he was just, oh, there's so many birds here, and there's a lot of them look so good. And I'm probably not going to get anything. Well, no worries, no worries. I just thought it was funny. Y'all might not care about the roosters or the story, or how pessimistic my husband is, but I thought it was funny. So I thought I would share it. And apparently, I don't go with him to these shows. Most of the time when he goes to these shows, I'm working anyways. So I never get to these shows, but he'll send me pictures and stuff. And he says, these shows, there's some of these people who are real big into their chickens. And, they'll be painting toenails and plucking feathers and hairspraying feathers into place. And I was like, really? I was just surprised. I was like, and that doesn't count off in the judging if they're not natural, if they're painted and hairsprayed. So apparently that doesn't count off in the judging, or at least the best he can tell, it doesn't count off in the judging. But and it's so funny, at first he was like, oh my goodness, I can't believe they do that. And now this time he was like, he's got 2 white feathers sticking out on his tail, because the rooster kind of got in a fight with another rooster. And they didn't really get in a fight. One was in the pen and one was out of the pen. And they kind of more or less attacked the pen instead of attacked each other. But he apparently messed up his tail feathers when he did that. So he was like, he's got these 2 white feathers sticking out. I'm going to have to get some hairspray and spray them down. Because he called me one day asking me if I had hairspray. And I said, no, sorry, I haven't worn hairspray in years now. So he on his way to Ohio, he stopped and got hairspray to spray these roosters' white feathers back into place so they wouldn't be showing for the judging. I was like, oh my goodness, this is when you've taken it too far. But if that's what he wants to do and that's what makes him happy, go for it. Play with your chickens. Drive them halfway across the country for a show. It's quite entertaining. Or at least to me, it's quite entertaining. Oh man. I butterfingered that one. Flipped it right out. Some of these have a bigger eye. That one has a bigger eye. Oh, much better. Goodness, 18 wheeler with his Jake brakes going. I still don't have that bottom material stitched down to the felt. It's actually just kind of velcroed itself. To the felt, so. I think I'm getting too big. Well, I'm using a bigger needle now. I think that's why. I have to try to back it back up, make them smaller again. A little bit further than I wanted to go with that. Maybe that's why I wasn't using that. I think that's the one that was going dull on me the last time I used it. I forgot to take it out of my pin cushion. Yep, that one is definitely going dull on me. I'm getting too big again. What do you think? How does it look? I think it turned out really well. I do like the green. I do like the green. I think it turned out really well. So excited. Yay. Thanks for watching. On to the next video. Be sure to like and subscribe.